Let me tell you a little secret. I normally hide it quite well, but today I want to confess something. There are definitely days when I just want to call in sick and say, I definitely have no energy left, no confidence at all to do what I'm supposed to do. And it's easy to be misled what you hear on this podcast or see on social media. Some days it takes me so many retakes before I feel I'm on the right level to boost you. Over time, I've learned to see those days less as failures or so and more as a signal to rest, and also an invitation to get curious about why I feel the resistance. Maybe you have had those days too, that kind of days when confidence just doesn't show up, when you don't want to, when you don't know how to, and when it feels like there's no chance in the world that you can make it happen. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Because whether you're leading a team or leading yourself, there will be moments when confidence feels absent. And the question is, what do you do then? Let me take you back in time a bit. I'm Hanna Zaxmy, your leadership coach, and this podcast is your confidence boost in color. Let's go. It's June, and I'm on my way to a team day, a half-day workshop followed by dinner. It's a really sunny and bright day, and the traffic is really busy around me. I have put in my earphones and put on some really confidence-boosting music in my ears. I'm trying to lift myself as I'm walking there. But my shoulders, well, they are almost up with same levels as my ears, and my body feels really stiff. And honestly, there's so much resistance in me. Today, I would rather have been and prefer to stay at bed. I'd only been in this role since January this year, a brand new job, a new workplace, and back then the department had around 20 employees plus consultants. 4 months later, half of them had left, or at least resigned. People had lost faith, not just in the organization, but the possibility to actually change something. And I knew already at my first day that this was never going to be an easy ride, because staff turnover had been over 30% the past 3 years, and critical knowledge was locked into a few people. And it took more than a year for new hires to get up to speed. The company had just been acquired, and the new owners demanded a full migration of a poorly documented IT systems. On top of that, the team spent 70 or 80% of the time firefighting. So some couldn't even take holidays without their laptops. And that was almost no time to do planned work. And the employees, yes, they were tired, exhausted, almost burned out. I could feel the weight of it all. On the first 100 days, felt like 95% setbacks. But during that time, I had at least been able to really understand the situation. And I had set a direction anchored with my manager, so I knew that he was supporting me in this. Walking into that team day, I reminded myself of one thing. The most important thing I could bring into room was my belief, my confidence that changes was possible. And at first, the conversation sounded just like before. Heavy, problem-focused, all about what didn't work, and a plenty of blaming others, with a fair share of it landing on me as well. When the workshop was over, I locked myself into one of the bathrooms just to breathe, to get some space. I really just wanted to run out of there, to catch the next train home, to lie down on the floor and cry. But instead, I reminded myself again, I can see how it could be different. I can see how we can get there. It's not impossible. I have done similar things before, so why not now? 10 minutes later, I walked back and joined the dinner. Only some of the team were there. Several had already gone straight home. At first, the conversations were rather stiff, careful, I can say. But then something started to shift. From this is hopeless to what if we could? One by one, around the table, people began to share their ideas. Small spark of vision, a glimpse of a different future, one where we weren't just firefighting, but actually building something better. That evening became a turning point, a moment when confidence started to show itself again, not only in me, but also in those who had chosen to stay. And from there, things began to change. As a manager, I've heard so many versions of these phrases over the years, like, I don't want to do that, I don't know how to do it, and there's no chance that this will work. To be honest, these phrases used to really irritate me. They were a bit of a trigger, because pointing at a problem and then just sitting still, well, that doesn't solve anything. But here comes my second confession of today. I realize that I fall into this trap too. I catch myself saying, or at least thinking, the very same phrases. Maybe you can relate. And here's the thing. Over time, I've discovered that these phrases, frustrating as they may sound, actually hide something valuable. They are disguised treasures. They are signals, clues, and they tell us where confidence is missing. So, which of these three phrases do you catch yourself using most often? So let's us break it down a bit and go into more detail. The first one, I don't want to. When someone says that, or when we say it to ourselves, is it often a sign of confidence is missing in motivation? We can't see the purpose. We have lost the energy for the task. In other words, we lack the clarity on why this matters, what difference it will make. The second one, I don't know how to. This is usually points to a lack of understanding on how I can contribute with my knowledge or other resources. Sometimes it's simply that we don't feel equipped to take the next step. And sometimes it's about not knowing what to prioritize or where to put our focus. And sometimes it's about ownership, taking responsibility even when the way forward isn't crystal clear. And the third one, there's no chance to do this work, that this will work. That's about beliefs. A lack of trust in ourselves, in the team, or in the bigger picture. And of course, when we enter new territory, doing something we've never done before, it's hard to believe that it's possible. We don't have the facts, the experience, the clarity, or certainty. I can see that in my own journey right now. I never have run a complete business fully on my own before. Starting from scratch, trusting that I can make it successful is harder if I only look at what I have done so far. But when I look around and I see plenty of others like me who has built a thriving ventures, I remind myself I've already practiced many of the skills just in other roles. From a confidence framework perspective, this is where we can connect it back to focus, to next step, to clarity, and to truth. So these three phrases, don't want to, don't know how to, and no chance to, are not just complaints, they're signals. They show us exactly where confidence is missing. And once you see that, you can put your leadership attention there. So let's put this into practice. Think of a challenge right now that you are facing. Something you want to achieve, but where you feel a bit stuck, like you have hit a dead end. Maybe a New Year resolution you haven't come so far with, or a goal set for your organization that feels far off to be able to be accomplished. On a scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is the lowest and 10 is the highest, and really fully true and fully confident, rate the following three questions. The first one, how much do I actually want to achieve this goal? 0 to 10. The second one, do I have the competence or the ability to gain the competence to achieve it? 0 to 10. And the third question, ready? How possible do I believe it is to achieve this goal? 0 to 10. And be honest with yourself. Nobody else will see this. So take the first number that comes up. Don't overthink it. Now, let's connect the dots. So the first question, how much do I want this? Yes, that relates to I don't want to. Is it motivating enough? The second one, do I have the competence or can I gain it? Relates to I don't know how to. Do I have the right resources? Do I know how to apply them? Am I willing to take ownership? And the third one, how possible do I believe this is? Relates to there's no chance. So, do I trust it's possible? Look at your numbers. Which one is the lowest? That's often where the biggest breakthroughs can happen if you focus there. The thing holding you back right now. And here's a follow-up. Imagine that number being just one step higher. So let's say that you wrote down a 5. What would you need to be true for you to say that now it's actually a 6? What could you see and what do you know and what do you believe that is difference between a 6 and a 5? What have you learned? So what will your first test be? The smallest nudge that moves you from 5 towards the 6. That is how you start rebuilding confidence and adding it. One small step at a time. And that is how you get it moving. Some days confidence really does call in sick. And that's human. What matters is noticing it where it's missing. Is it motivation, competence, or belief? And then choosing a really small, deliberate test to move one step forward. Confidence is not an on and off switch. It can fade in different areas. And as leaders, when our team's confidence is low, it's our job not to have all the answers. Instead, it's to help identify the gap and focus energy there, to bridge it over to a more stable ground. The same applies when we lead ourselves. From a confident lens, this is about focus and next step. Pick the smallest action that proves progress is possible. It's also about clarity, why this matters. Ownership, like choosing to act, and truth, grounding yourself in what's real, your strength, your evidence, your values. So what happened after that dinner conversation with my scattered team? We began to recruit curious, skilled people who complemented those that already was there. And we increased the planned work from 20% now up to 50%, freeing up 7,000 hours annually. We completed the IT migration systematically on schedule with better documentation than ever. And we did it calmly. The following summer, everyone could take holidays without their laptops. And 18 months later, the team was awarded Team of the Year, nominated by our internal clients. Looking back, the difference came down to 3 things. The first one was that we created a shared vision that was inspiring enough to move towards, one that showed that the difference it would make, not only for us, but for our internal customers and external clients. The second one was that we began to believe that the change was possible. And the third one was that we recognized that we had the competence to do it and that each person contributed and they mattered to make it happen. As a coach, I see this as one of my most important tasks, to help leaders to refuel their confidence. Because your confidence doesn't just affect you, it sets the tone for your whole team. If you want to dive deeper into this and work with these tools more in depth, I have a project where I teach it in more detail. If you're a manager facing these situations regularly, it will definitely support you in moving from question marks to exclamation points. You find the link in the show notes or reach out directly to me and I will guide you. And if today's episode resonated, it would mean a lot if you leave a comment, a rating, or follow the podcast. Or share it with someone you believe needs to get this confidence boost right now. It will help more people to find these conversations. And it truly gives me the energy to keep creating them for you. If you like to share your reflections or explore coaching, you'll also find my contact details in the episode description. Until next time, be confident, be you.
Confidence starts inside of you.